Good morning from the Causey Aquatic Center here in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're on the campus of NC State University as the NC State Wolfpack host the UNC Tar Heels in a rivalry dual meet here in the ACC. We'll welcome you in on the ACC Network Extra, along with Hennessy Stewart. My name is Andrew Sanders. A very exciting time here in this pool today, Hennessy, as these two teams meet. It's a rivalry, a lot more on the line. They're midway through the season, and it's a packed house.
It is. Honestly, it's always packed for UNC. It's an energized meet. It's one that everyone looks forward to in the season. It's been a long, long tradition. And not too long ago, UNC used to own this state. And then when Braden came in, it was a change of the guard. And so now NC State seems to be in control, but you never know with these dual meets. UNC could throw something out there and cause some upsets, create some energy, cause some trouble. And always for these meets, it's a very fun, energetic experience.
Already had the introductions. You can feel the energy in this building. NC State, as you say, are the favorites. The men are ranked 6th in the country. Their women are ranked 9th. So both programs in the top 10, and both are unbeaten in dual meets so far this year, both 2-0 overall. 1-0 in the ACC as the Wolfpack already beat rival Duke early back in October. Carolina comes in not ranked on the men's side, ranked 24th on the women's side. Men are 3-1, the women 4-0. They have not been tested yet in ACC competition. Well, we're here in 2019, midway through January. At this point of the season as a college swimmer, how are you feeling? Because you're starting to build to that crescendo, but you're certainly not trying to peak yet, right?
Yes, both teams just came off of winter training, which is absolutely brutal. It's a nose to the grindstone. All you're doing is praying for the light at the end of the tunnel. I think swimmers are one of the only people on campus that pray for classes to start, because then that just means training's over and they get to transition into more of these types of environments and these types of meets, because this is honestly one of the most exciting meets to be a part of. I look forward to UNC every year, and so regardless of what happens, both teams are going to step up. It's been a long time since NC State has swam and competed, so they're very eager, very, very eager. And so they're training hard right now, but just letting the meet take control, energize themselves, it's going to be a fun one.
And we start off with a great event. Women's 200 medley relay. Ton of energy in the building, and I love that we start off with the relay.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's a great start. Great, great start. You can feel the tension in the air, both by the athletes and by the spectators.
NC State has swept the last 3 duels against North Carolina. As we get the introductions here. And they are off. You spoke of that tension when leading off. How's the pressure like when you're leading off the relay and to lead off the whole dual meet?
You have to set the tone. And UNC is already showing some color, some strong. And Elise has always been good for us leading off. But the thing is, with this relay, particularly for the NC State women's team, they have got a lot of good freshmen that have come in that rejuvenate these relays a little bit more. And so we've got a lot of talent, particularly with our breaststroker right here.
Sophie Hansen in lane 7 leading the way for the Wolfpack. About a half length ahead of Caroline Hodder in North Carolina.
3, Lexi Lupton, senior for the Wolfpack, takes over flying lane 5.
And the work being done under the water by Serena Rowe, opening up that lead.
Great underwater, great breakout.
Wolfpack by about a length. Final swimmers in the water. It's Kylie Perry.
Wolfpack out in front. Here comes senior Ross McClanahan in lane 3.
Kylie's looking good right now. With a lead like that, you can trust that Kylie's going to get it done.
Perry to the wall first as NC State takes the women's 200 medley relay.
And your NC State Wolfpack go 1-3 against the Tar Heels here in the first swimming event.
Wolfpack also taking third in the event. Out in lane 3, Lindsay Morrow, Olivia Colligan, Olivia Fisher, and Rosina McClanahan.
Good start for the pack. I also think that was a good start for UNC as well.
Well, head coach Rich DeSelm of the Tar Heels said they know they're coming in. They know that they're the underdogs. They've been swept the last 3 years, but they feel like they can be competitive even against a top 10 program. But he said that it's going to take obviously winning some close events.
Yes, touchouts, steal momentum and steal energy, and so to be able to win touchouts is huge.
How much does the men's program for either side feed off of the women's program when you see that the women's side just won the relay?
It gets you jacked up, if you're not jacked up already at this point.
Which you should be.
Yeah. Now watch Andreas is underwaters. He's by far one of the best in the country.
Andreas Visayos in lane 7 for NC State, the reigning ACC swimmer of the year. And multiple-time national champion.
Wow.
It is awfully tight here.
It is.
Those middle lanes, 5, 6, and 7, all three swimmers in the water at virtually the same time.
Yes. Very good swims by UNC and NC State there to lead off.
Looks like the pack in lane 7 with a slight edge, Daniel Graber. Sterling Smith of North Carolina in lane 6. Jacob Molachek in lane 5.
And out in lane 7 for the back goes senior Justin Ress.
Very, very energetic. A lot of tension. Mills in lane, I think 5, had a great leg there. I mean, to have two relays competing against each other right now like this is awesome. Very, very fun.
Parker looking strong here, going for a 1-3 sweep. Let's do it.
And in lane 3,
yeah,
looks like the Wolfpack have the lead. There's 1, 2.
One, 2, and 4.
And looks like Carolina in lane 6 with a 29.36 against 29.42 of NC State. So there was a touch out there, almost a sweep for the pack.
Almost a sweep.
So the men in the 200 medley relay.
Very, very good. I think you're going to notice here today at this meet that you're going to find swimmers not swimming their typical races.
Okay.
So the coaches are going to throw them in different environments, different situations. Like normally Justin would probably be anchoring that relay, but instead they had him doing fly. And he's very talented, but so being able to have those kind of races is good experience, mixing it up.
Is that because you're just at this point of the season where it's still about development?
It is. It's just practice, and also it makes it more exciting. As you saw there, you had 2 NC State relays competing for the win right there. Being so deep that you can spread out your swimmers into multiple relays like that makes it much more exciting for NC State swimmers and for everyone else.
And building that depth is really what Braden Holloway has done in his 8 years here at Raleigh, is what has propelled this program into a top 10 position.
It really has.
Really a top 5 position the last several years.
Yes, and the last 3 years we've gotten 4th. They have done a great job. It's funny, like hearing 4th is such a great accomplishment. But the way the team had progressed when Braden has been here has been just getting better every single year. It almost pisses off the team.
A little frustration there.
Frustration that we've gotten 4th, and we always want to shoot for the top. And so being able to develop the depth and also have talented swimmers at the top allows for, the team to compete for a national title year in and year out now. Hopefully they continue. The recruiting class coming in next year, freshmen coming in are very talented, very eager, very excited to be a part of the team, and they have big shoes to fill. They have a huge senior class right now.
Yeah,
huge, and being able to come in confident, understand what's at stake, what shoes they're filling is very important. But Braden, the coaching staff, and the team around them will be able to mold them and teach them how to step to the occasion, rise to the occasion.
So we go from a 200 medley relay to now a 1,000 free.
Yes, very different races.
Very different races.
Very, very
much different pacing.
Yes.
Obviously, we start off with the women here. Now, you see the cards going into the water, fifth lap. How important is that in a long-distance race like this?
Right now, it doesn't mean much.
Okay.
It's a lot of formality. Sure, the occasional mix-up happens where they lose track, but these swimmers do this every day without counters. So
they do it blindfolded, basically.
They basically could. And so every day they're doing long distances like this, even longer, and they have to keep track themselves. And so the counting cards are just a formality, just in case something happens. But also, as you'll see, at different points in the race, they're going to change their strategy and how they're swimming. Some will take it out strong and then just try to hold on. Some will try to build into it at certain points during the race. And the cards are just another way to kind of signal, all right, now's the time for me to do X, Y, and Z in my race strategy. Mila's looking really good. Tamila in lane 3.
Tamila Holub in her turn. You say the 11 card just went down. How important are turns in a race of this distance?
The turns are taken for granted. And I think that the distance coaches, especially in the collegiate realm, know how important, they may not be kicking for very long underneath the water, but maximizing each turn and maximizing the limited kicks they have off each wall really can change momentum. They can change the placing of different races. If someone has weak turns, weak underwaters, they're going to be swimming a lot harder to maintain or catch up to an individual who maximizes each turn. And I think that Mark knows for sure that they have to train that each wall is very important. You got to maximize whatever effort or whatever push off you have, because it could mean winning or losing in these races.
You say Mark, you mean Mark Bernardino?
Yes, Mark Bernardino.
New addition to this staff in his first year, associate head coach, joining Bobby Guntoro under Braden Holloway. What has his addition meant to this program?
Mark, the team calls him Dino, is a legend. And to have him come into this program offers so much to the swimmers, but also to the coaching staff. Braden has looked at this opportunity to help him grow, help him learn what it means to develop a dynasty that Mark did at Virginia. And Mark has a lot to offer for both the coaching staff and the swimmers, and his transition has gone very well. The swimmers have adopted him, and the coaching staffs love him. You have sprinters going up to Dino and chatting him up, having a good time. Because Mark, it's much more than just swimming for him. And I think that's what makes him so special, is he cares a lot about just who you are as a human being and how you are doing. Because he knows that the relationships that he wants to create go way beyond just swimming.
And I think that's a trait that you'll find in great coaching across any sport.
The ones who last, yes.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So still in lane 3 for NC State, Tamila Holub in firm control of this so far.
Summer Feek and Anna Johns are battling out in lane 7 and 5. They train against each other every day, so this is nothing new.
They just announced near the halfway point. In a race of this distance, if I know that this wasn't necessarily what you did in college, but you have experience with it. If you say you're favored to win, you maybe get behind a little bit, are you concerned at all midway through the race if someone's setting a faster pace than you, or are you pretty much just racing against yourself and what you know your pace should be?
Usually you have your own race strategy, and even though you may be behind at a certain point during the race, you trust the process, you trust yourself, and understand that, like, all right, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know that I'm doing it. And, sometimes people fall off, but most of the time these swimmers are so good at what they're doing that they know exactly what time they're going. They don't need anyone to tell them what their splits are, because they know just based off feel, based off stroke count, they know exactly where they are. And particularly in these longer races, especially in the mile, which is more for a championship meet, there's a lot of switching and placing. Everyone has just different strategies. So you just got to trust yourself and trust the process.
And a lot of that knowledge and knowing the process is because of the ridiculous amount of training that you all put in.
Yes. Particularly this group, the distance group.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But just in general, college swimmers, you guys train. It's unbelievable, the level of fitness and just the amount of repetition that goes into it. At this point in the season, what is your typical schedule like as a college swimmer?
I only know NC State's, but they're going to lift and double. And when I mean double, you swim twice a day. So they're going to lift and swim twice a day on Monday. You're going to double on Tuesday. And you're going to single on Wednesday, single Thursday, double Friday, single Saturday. Mixed in, so like Wednesday you're going to lift, Friday you're going to lift, and then also you're doing dry land on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And
by dry land you mean
outside
doing runs?
Well, we don't run. The way the coaching staff does is we do a lot of jump roping.
Okay.
And that facilitates a little bit more aerobic training that, it keeps them out of the water. It keeps them from wearing down their muscles a little too much, so that they're able to get that aerobic
high-level
cardio in without, overdoing it in the pool. And so you do a lot of core exercises, a lot of jump rope. Right now, they're in pull-up season. And so, Tuesdays and Saturdays, the guys' team particularly are doing 70 pull-ups before or after workout. And the ladies, I think they're working at 40 right now. And so it's a tough period right now because they're still training really, really hard, but you also have these little breaks of these meets coming up, and then also tapers around the corner. So it's really weird. They're antsy. They're still training very, very hard, but there's light at the end of the tunnel at this point.
Explain tapers.
Taper is, so with swimming, you're training at such an intense level day in and day out, and it's partly because the lack of impact on your body. So you're not injuring yourself per se because of just impact. Like runners can't do what we do because of the impact that they have on their joints. Whereas, the only problem we could have in training here, like with swimming, is just overstressing the muscles. And so that takes a lot. And so they're going to be training very hard. And so you're probably working at, like right now they're working at probably 75% capacity of their best. And then taper allows them to, get to 100% hopefully.
25 yards to go. Tamila Holub has led pretty much this whole race and looks to have this one just about sealed up. A couple more strokes for her. And she will win by, 3-4 lengths here easily.
Yeah. Anna John's coming in second, coming in strong, really, really strong.
1, 2, 3.
And that's a sweep for the NC State Wolfpack.
Anna Johnson, lane 5, finishing second. Summer Finke just out touching for third. So they follow up again. It was a long time ago. I mean, it was over 10 minutes ago. But they follow up the men 200 medley relay near sweep with a sweep, and the Wolfpack really setting the tone here early on.
Yes, these are very strong events for the team, and so they want to get the ball rolling early, set the tone, get it started right.
Next is number 8, men's 1,000 yards.
And of course, we follow up with the men 1,000 free.
Lane 3 for the pack, Jack McIntyre.
Who are you looking at in this race?
Tar Heels, Nick Palmer. Lane 5
Honestly, I'm looking at Jack, and then also Curtis in lane 1. He's a freshman, very eager. He's probably one of the best kickers on the team. His legs are insane. You're going to watch him go, and they're not going to stop. But Jack is very talented, but all these guys are talented. So any one of these guys coming in can win this race.
Curtis Wiltsey in lane 1, Jack McIntyre in lane 3. Obviously, the higher seeded swimmers in the middle of the pool, right? You turn on the Olympics every 4 years, that's what you're going to see.
Actually, very different actually here, because
but it's different.
It's different here because of the way the pool is set up. It goes shallow in lane 1 and then just progressively goes down, and then around 5 and 6 it drops to the deep end. And so with swimming, you want to be in deep water. Less turbulence, it's faster, and so the teams are going to have their fastest swimmers going in 8, 7, 6, and 5.
And that's what I wanted to ask you about, because you were saying, hey, I'm looking at Curtis Wiltsey in lane 1. I don't know how often you swam lane 1 here.
Too often. Braden would love to just throw me in lane 1 for like 200 IM, and 200 IM is never fun in lane 1.
Are you getting beat up over there?
You're just getting beat up, and you also have jets coming in from the wall. Curtis, though, if I were him, I'd be hugging that lane rope to the lane 2. Because there's no one in lane 2, so there's no waves coming in that direction. And then that keeps him away from the wall.
Does that make things a little easier, purposely not put anybody in lane 2?
Well,
just works
it's up to
that way.
UNC
yeah.
at this point. But you take advantage of those situations like that where you're not necessarily in the best situation of being in lane 1, but you see that no one's next to you, and you're like, all right, I'm going to get away from this wall. I'm going to hug that lane rope, get some fresh water. And it could help. It would help him a lot.
You said you might go in like a 200 IM. It's more difficult in a shorter race than in a long distance race like this?
I would say so, just because you're moving at such a higher speed in the sprint events that any sort of wave or turbulence you feel it, and it takes a toll, and it stops momentum very easily. Jack McIntyre, Danny Erlenmeyer, lane 7 looking good. Gill in lane 5, also looking strong. Honestly, all 4 of the NC State Wolfpack swimmers are, executing a good race from what it looks like. Being patient, understanding the process, like I said, and, coming up soon, we're going to be starting seeing some speed changes, hopefully.
Carolina swimming just Thomas Bretzman in lane 6 and Nick Palmer in lane 4, so they opt to go with just 2 swimmers in this event. How come sometimes we might see, a packed event, and sometimes you might only see a couple of swimmers on either side?
For a conference meet, it allows for a kind of a home field advantage where the opposing team is limited on the amount of swimmers they can bring to the meet. And then at home, you're allowed to swim as many as you want.
Sure.
And that's the kind of home field advantage that was created for the sport of swimming. Now, if they were going out of conference, there is no rule against that. So let's say Texas was here. When we go to Texas, or when they go to Texas, Braden's going to bring a team that he seems fit and
just hit his absolute best.
His absolute best.
Yeah. And
that's why, like next year, the team's going to be at UNC. You go back and forth between the different facilities.
So it balances out. And
it does.
As you can see, NC State been dominant in this event.
Yeah.
As the Carolina Swimmers fall behind several lengths. But every team is going to have its strengths and weaknesses,
yes.
and obviously that's about what we were talking about earlier, right? About building that depth.
Yes, the depth. Particularly the distance group, the last couple of years, 3 or 4 years, has really, really grown and become a key component to NC State's success. For the longest time, NC State was a sprint program. They dominated the relays, they dominated the sprint events, and then as the team got better, started drawing more attention to themselves, distance guys would come in, particularly like Anton Ibsen, who was in my grade. He was an NCAA champion last year in the mile. Having him bring in these guys that are swimming now and helping them train and showing them what it takes is like really elevated the distance program here at NC State.
How beneficial is it to just have talented swimmers around you that are going to push you? Like you say, Anton Ibsen, who won the mile last year, national champion, maybe helping these guys.
Yes.
Or I'm sure there was a lot of competition between you and Coleman Stewart,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Two excellent backstrokers.
Absolutely.
Maybe speak to your experience on that. Do you feed off one another?
Absolutely. Like, in the pool, we're the most competitive team out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure a lot of teams are going to say that.
Yeah.
But when Coleman and I would train, when Anton and distance guys would train, it's cutthroat. Everyone wants to get to the wall first. Everyone wants to win. It's very competitive. But it's very healthy because once we're done, we're done. We leave it in the pool. We're all buddies. We're all brothers. And so, like, having guys like Anton come in or Andreas, they're good for a reason. You know, yeah, talent has a lot to do with it, especially at this level. But to be as successful as some of the guys on this team are right now take a lot of hard work, and that's day in and day out. There's no days off. They come in and grind.
And that competitive nature.
Oh, absolutely.
That you have.
Absolutely.
It's cutthroat.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, we have like the freshmen come in, they see what's happening here. It's very intimidating because high school is very different from college. Club is very different from college. And you see these guys grinding every single day, and it gets to a point where, they make a decision. It's a mental decision that, you know what, I'm probably going to get my butt kicked every day, but I'm going to do my very best to train with these guys and keep up with them as long as I can. And that's the mentality that, it's like passing of the torch. Like, once these guys are done, the upperclassmen are done, they've cultivated hardworking individuals from the bottom up. And so once the freshmen are seniors, they're going to be badasses. And they're going to be teaching the freshmen coming in the same thing.
You pass the torch.
Passing down. It's a culture that the team has that it's contagious. When I first got here, the culture wasn't positive. It was the pool was not a priority. And he changed it. He had to hold the reins. He had to be in charge of the team for a long time. But now that the culture's changed, Brayden doesn't have to do anything.
That leadership is built in.
The seniors, the team does it themselves.
Okay.
And that's what makes it so special. Goals are set by the team now. The expectation is set by the team. Now the coaches just help facilitate it, help the team get to where they want to be.
Again, the NC State swimmers with a healthy lead here. This is the 1,000 free. Wolfpack sending 4 swimmers into the lanes. So you speak of that competitive nature, and I want to get more into that as we go along. I mean, most recent Olympics, I think it got a lot of attention.
Yes.
There was a stare down, and Michael Phelps was just in his headphones. He was just in his Dre Beats, right?
Yes.
And just getting ready.
Ready.
And he was ready, and he came out and did it for the Americans.
Absolutely.
What's that like? What's your mentality like going into a race? I know that's a race of a different level.
Yes.
But are you listening to music?
Relative.
Yeah,
It's
no, it's
relative.
the same. Are you listening to music? Are you trying to get pumped? What would you do?
Everyone's different. Everyone's routine is very different. I I'm one of those swimmers that's, I'm not very superstitious.
Sure.
I'm sure there's like small things that I would do every time. Michael Phelps was a routine swimmer. He did the exact same thing every single day, and that's what helped him be successful. But like some guys don't need it. You're gonna watch here at the blocks, you're gonna see everyone's individual kind of race prep, and everyone's different. It's what makes it unique. It's fun to watch everyone's little quirks.
First place for the Wolfpack, second place for the Wolfpack, third place for the Wolfpack.
Another sweep for NC State.
Kiesler and Danny Erlenmeyer backing it up.
Jack McIntyre 9:11. And you
Solid
said you were looking for Jack here,
Yeah.
and he wins it by over 6 seconds.
That's a pretty solid swim right now. Absolutely, considering where the training is. It's a very good swim, all around good swim for the NC State Wolfpack.
All right. Next event is event number 9, women's 200-yard
So back-to-back
freestyle.
sweeps for the Wolfpack in the 1,000 free, and it brings us to the women's 200 free.
In lane 2 for the Tar Heels.
But you see people jumping around, massaging their muscles, putting on goggles at different times. Everyone has their own little routine.
In lane 5 for the Pat Kate Moore. In lane 6
It's what makes it like swimming very fun to look at. It's different. It's very fun. You have people dancing, listening to music, or not, or being very serious. Like there's some individuals that you don't talk to before a race.
You just know.
You just know. You don't
Off
bother
limits,
them.
yeah.
You do not bother them. Other guys and girls are just like, chat me up.
Yeah.
We'll talk about anything right
Please
now.
talk to me, just
Yeah.
to get my mind off this.
Yeah.
They explode off the blocks. All right, we're going from 2 different extremes here. We
Yes.
just saw the 1,000, now it's the 200.
Yes.
How does this change, this short race?
It's just different training, different mentality, different race strategy. It's a completely different race. This is a long sprint. A long sprint.
Right.
And this race, the 200s particularly, take a lot of hard training because of how long they have to sustain an intense amount of effort.
Yeah, there's no dialing it back in
No.
the middle of a 200 free.
No, absolutely not.
Looks like Lexi Lupton in lane 7.
She's looking good. Julia Poole in lane 3, also coming in strong at the 100. Very good race so far. Good race for 3rd. A lot can change with this last 75 too.
Yeah, it's still Lupton and Poole leading the way. A little distance being created now. Kate
Absolutely.
Moore in
Kate
lane
Moore
5.
coming in strong for the last 50. This could be another sweep.
It's the 3 Wolfpack swimmers into, I believe this is the final turn, yes.
Yes, this is it.
All right, we're coming here to the finish for the women's 200-yard freestyle.
Poole in lane 3 with a
1, 2,
strong
3.
Very
finish.
strong finish.
Kate Moore in lane 5 finishing 2nd. Lexi Lupton takes 3rd.
Very important sweep right here for the Wolfpack women. Now we have an exhibition heat coming up, it looks like. Brooke
The next heat
Rubendahl.
is an exhibition heat for the women's 200-yard
This is
freestyle.
honestly a very
Lane 7
exciting
for the Wolfpack,
moment for Brooke.
Rubendahl.
She has gone through
Mr.
an
Referee.
incredible amount of adversity with injuries, surgeries. She's had 2 shoulder surgeries. The rehab has been intense. It's been very hard. But to see her come back from it, I mean, and even when she was not swimming, she was here with the team, helping the coaches out, and doing everything as filling up water bottles. She really wanted to make sure that she was still a part of this team, doing what she could for the team. And so seeing her come in and race for the first time in a very long time is very, very exciting. And honestly, I bet the team is very, very excited to see how she does.
Always exciting, being able to get back in the pool, coming off injuries.
Yes.
In an exhibition like this, the pressure is off a little bit, but it's also, I'm sure, some nerves going because you're by yourself out there.
By yourself, yes. And just because of the background, like, I can't imagine what Brooke's thinking about right now. I mean, you just see the camaraderie, the sisterhood that like programs like NC State and UNC develop. I mean, you have Lexi, who had just swam the 200 free right before Brooke, staying to cheer her teammate on before warming down, even though she probably should be warming down. But like, she doesn't care.
It's that important to her.
It's that important. Like, she wants to make sure that like Brooke knows that she's being supported.
Everybody cheering her on.
Everyone.
Braden Holloway pumping his fist a little bit. They like what they see from her so far. Update on the team score. NC State 60-14 on the women's side. That is updated through this event, the 200 free. And a great reaction from this crowd.
Great.
As Rubendahl finishes in 152.
It honestly doesn't matter about the time at this point. It doesn't. But the fact that she's in there, she's swimming, she's competing, knows by herself. I hope that she really feels supported and very excited for what's next for her.
NCAA provisional standard in this event, 136.32. Swimming in lane 1 for the pack, Jacob Johnson. Lane 2 for the Tar Heels.
Now, this is exactly what I was talking about. You're going to see people swimming events that they normally wouldn't swim, particularly in this race. 200 free for the guys' side.
5 for the pack, Coleman Stewart. In lane 6
Coleman doesn't normally swim 200 free.
In lane 7
Noah Hensley doesn't swim 200 free. Jacob Johnson does, but these guys are mainly backstrokers. Eric's a distance swimmer. You know, I think the coach is going to see what Eric can do potentially in this 200.
Coleman Stewart, lane 5. Noah Hensley, lane 7 for NC State.
I'm very interested to see what Coleman does here with his underwaters for this 200 free. He is one of the best underwater swimmers in the sport of swimming, I think in the world. And so normally in a 100 fly, 100 back, he's going to be pushing those underwaters, but since he's in 200 free, it's a little different. But he's coming off strong on the first 50, good underwaters, good rhythm.
Go ahead.
Eric's looking really good in lane 3 as well, Noah as well. This could end up being a very good race.
And it's Stewart right now with the lead in lane 5, so now he is hitting the wall a bit earlier, but you can see just how much longer he stays in the water.
Yes.
And you say, I mean, that's high praise. He's maybe one of the best underwaters in the world.
Yes.
But if you know anything about swimming, you know that the underwater work is where you get your work done. That may be the most important.
Right now, it's...
Or the separator.
It really is. It honestly is. Like, now with the sport of swimming, like, underwaters is the 5th stroke. There are practices dedicated specifically for underwater training. And everyone's doing it now because everyone knows how important it is.
And Coleman, it is the 3 Wolfpack swimmers out in front.
Noah's having a great swim right now.
And this is
Noah's
a battle
looking
for
really
first
good.
here.
This is a great battle.
Hensley in lane 7, Stewart in lane 5.
Noah's going to get him.
1, 2, 3, Wolfpack.
Great race for Wolfpack right there. It's fun to see a senior like Noah get a win like that. It's always exciting.
Four sweeps in a row for the Wolfpack.
Men's 200-yard freestyle, lane 7 for the Wolfpack, Daniel Fordahl.
As the men and the women both sweep.
Mr. Referee.
Here comes another exhibition heat. Daniel Forndal. Again, it's hard to swim by yourself, but these guys are ready to race.
An update on the men's team score right now: NC State 63, North Carolina 11. And that is updated through the 200 free.
We're waiting on men's 1,000 results. Timer out of home, so I'll pass those along as soon as we get them. I don't think I'm in
So Wolfpack starting to pull away. There's still a lot of swimming to be done here. Obviously, they came in as the heavy favorites. North Carolina thinking, they needed to win some touches, win some tight ones. So far, it's been sweep after sweep after sweep. This is exactly what, obviously, this home crowd wanted to see. But this NC State team coming into a rivalry, they seem very focused today.
Very focused. It's an important meet regardless of where each team is standing in their training and where they're at in their program. Just the history itself makes it personal, makes it emotional. And so both are going to come in very excited, very ready to just do their best. That's just honestly what they hope to do. And like you said, there's still a lot of swimming to be done. I think UNC still has their main event still to come.
Sure.
And potentially causing some trouble for the NC State Wolfpack.
Going into a rivalry, you were talking about the schedule earlier, and the schedule doesn't really change too much in terms of your routine before a dual meet in the middle of the season. Was there any difference in, obviously not routine, but mental preparation, pep talk? Coach Holloway, obviously he understands this rivalry, being an alum. Is the message any different going into it?
Braden does a great job on the guys' side. I know personally, just being on the guys team, the upperclassmen know how important this is. The captains they put the responsibility on their shoulders to get the team ready. And even though it is in the middle of the season, they're mentally prepping themselves to compete, do their very best, and just excel in the pool right now.
So from the men's 200 free to the women's 100 backstroke. This is an event that you swam. I'll let you go into it.
It's a heavy underwater swim. You're going to watch Elise in lane 7, Danica in lane 3 really maximize the underwaters. But we have a freshman coming in, Emma Muzzy, in lane 5, who's an absolute stud.
She made a lot of noise early in the season.
A lot of noise and stud. And she's in the distance group. She trains with under Mark. But to see her excelling in a race like this just shows how great of a coach Mark is and how he can facilitate the training necessary for an individual like Emma.
It's a good race so
Very
far.
Good race.
It's Muzzy in lane 5, Grace County in lane 6 for Carolina, Elise Hahn in 7. Muzzy with the edge in lane 5.
Emma's looking very strong. Elise coming in strong as well. I think they're going to go 1-2.
And it's a 1-2 finish for the Wolfpack. Emma Muzzy in lane 5, Elise Hahn in lane 7.
That's a very good swim for Emma
Right
here and now.
Rounds out your top 3.
That's a pool record also on the girls' side for Emma.
Wow.
That's very, very impressive.
53.1.
Very, very impressive swim.
12, the men's 100-yard backstroke. The NCAA provisional standard in this event is 47.7.
She's been setting some records early on in her career, and to set a pool record like that, and again, you said does a lot of distance.
Yes.
But you also said she's a stud, and I think sometimes people think that just because you are at your best in 1 or 2 events, that suddenly you're not adequate other places.
Yes.
But there's so much talent on both of these squads that you could throw someone in pretty much any race and they're going to be elite.
Yes, the guys right now coming in, like Andreas in lane 5, Giovanni Izzo in lane 7, also very talented, very versatile. it's very fun to watch a freshman like Emma Muzzy come in, make some noise, really just get after it right away. Not timid whatsoever.
I do want to ask you about what it's like as a freshman adjusting, but I'll ask you when we have a race that's a little bit longer.
Yeah, this is going to be short.
Andreas Visayos in lane 5 for the Wolfpack. Heavy favorite in this one. What makes him so good?
Trains very, very hard. He focuses on the details. He's just so mature when it comes to swimming. I've honestly I had the pleasure of training with him for 2 years, and I've never. Oh boy, here we go. This could be an upset coming up. Andreas sees him too. You can see the tempo change.
And it's Visayos by 200ths.
Good touch out. I think that was so important for the NC State squad. Kudos to UNC to come in and take on a backstroke squad that NC State has, and potentially make an upset like that.
Exhibition heat of the men's 100 backstroke, lane 7 for the Wolfpack. Luke
Those are all very solid. So to be under 48 in season at this point is very, very good. Very, very good.
And an exhibition here. Luke Sobolewski. Obviously, there's a rivalry component.
Yes.
Obviously, you want to win anytime you get into the pool. But you're talking about good times at this time of the year. I'm trying to see how I want to phrase this question. If you get into the pool and your time is good, but you finish 3rd or 4th, are you upset that you finished 3rd or 4th because of your competitive nature, or are you feeling good because you swam even better than the time that you were hoping to swim? I'm sure that probably didn't happen very often for you, where you swam a better time and you finished 4th. But
it's that dichotomy makes swimming, particularly at this level, so interesting, because you're competing against yourself, you're competing against the clock, but you're also competing against other people.
Right.
So it makes that, and that's what makes also the team dichotomy very interesting as well. Is like you're swimming by yourself technically, but your own individual accomplishments help the team out immensely and in achieving their goals. So if I were to go a really good in-season time and I saw that I got 3rd or 4th, I honestly think I'd be very upset just because of just the competitive nature of everything.
13, women's 100-yard breaststroke. The NCAA
There's always that 2 parts to a competition that create a response for the swimmers.
In lane 4 for the Tar Heels, Brooke Perota. In lane 5 for the Pack, Olivia Callaghan. In lane 6 for the Tar Heels, Lily Higgs. In lane 7 for the Pack, Sophie Hansen. And in lane 8 for the Tar Heels, Allie Reiner. This is the women's 100 breaststroke. Mr. Referee.
Women's 100 breaststroke here.
Sophie Hansen is another freshman, like Emma, who has come in fearless. And she's going to be a huge component coming into the championship season in terms of relays and individual points.
She leads the ACC. She's got the 2nd best time in the country this year at 58.44.
Yes, very talented. She's got a great stroke, great kick behind her. Coming to the United States from another country makes transition a little bit more difficult, particularly because it's from yards compared to meters. And I think she has already done a great job adjusting her stroke count, her strokes, from meters to yards, so that she's maximizing every turn and making sure she's the most effective in her races. Anna Shoemate coming in lane 3, looking good as well.
Coming into the
Good finish for Anna.
1, 2, 3 for the Wolfpack.
Good sweep. for the NC State Wolfpack women.
Shoemate finishing second in lane 3, as you said. And then it's Olivia Callaghan in lane 5.
The next heat is an exhibition heat of the women's 100 breaststroke. Lane 3 for the pack, Olga Laptova. Lane 5 for the pack, senior Rosita McClanahan. And in lane 7 for the pack, senior Emmy Barnhill. Mr. Referee.
This is a special race. In lane 7, we have Emmy Barnhill, who is a captain on the women's side. She's done so much for this program the last 4 years. Great leader. She decided that she wanted to have the UNC meet and the UVA meet next week be her focus. So as you can see, she is suited up in lane 7, and she wanted to have this moment, these moments for this weekend and next weekend to, you know, celebrate her success, what she's done for this program with her family and everyone else on the team. So it's always fun to see seniors like this.
Yeah, and it is senior day.
It is, yes. And you'll notice
even though it's not the final dual meet of the season.
Yes. And I don't know what the reason is behind that, but it's always great to celebrate the seniors because of what they've done for the program. You'll notice that the seniors are all wearing red caps. So Braden makes sure that they are distinctly recognizable compared to everyone else.
And it is such a senior-laden class.
Yes.
You like what you see from that swim?
Yeah, absolutely.
From Barnhill.
Yes. Right now, taper is such a weird thing. So weird. I would consider Emmy probably in the middle of her taper. And there are a lot of people who struggle during taper to swim fast because their body is just so confused about what's happening. Your body is like, wait, I'm not training hard anymore. I'm getting some rest. I don't know what to do with it. And so there's this term called the taper blues that happens around mid-taper. Everyone gets them, and you know, seeing her swim that right now is very encouraging for next weekend.
So after another sweep for the Wolfpack, we go to the men's side, 100 breast.
I think this is going to be a very good race. I'm very interested in lane 3. Rafal came in January. He's a freshman, so he has had a very short period of time of transitioning, being thrown into an intense meet environment like this early on. I'm excited to see how he responds. He's very talented. The team has been very excited for him to come. Lane 6 right now seems to be at the lead with UNC.
Yeah, Sterling Smith, he did very well in the IM earlier.
Yeah, in the relay, he did.
Pardon me, in the relay, yeah. Medley.
Now we'll see how the guys of NC State respond. They see him. They know he's there. They're going to race. Like Danny Graber in lane 7 right now is going to do everything he can to make sure that he does not have the win, and he did that.
And he out-touched him. Yeah, Smith finishing 3rd.
That's a very good swim for UNC, being 2nd and 3rd in that heat. I know they wish they had the touch out, but even though NC State got the win, not allowing another sweep is always a positive for UNC swimming.
15, women's 200-yard butterfly. NCAA provisional standard in this event.
Valdez Abalixta
swimming in lane 2.
Finishing 2nd for North Carolina.
In lane 3 for the pack, Jessica Hormansky. In lane 4 for the Tar Heels, Robin Dreyer.
We go to the 200 fly.
Michaela Sargent. In lane 6 for the Tar Heels,
I love the encouragement in the breaststroke. Every time you come up.
You hear it. You hear it.
For the Tar Heels,
the breaststroke and the fly are very unique in that you hear the crowd. You see your teammates on the other side of the lane too. Yeah. When you're breathing, you're looking forward, you see them like just kneeling down cheering for you, and it's those little things like that that help you get through a race.
200 fly here. This is an absolutely brutal race.
Brutal race. The type of training, the mentality necessary to be successful in this race, sometimes it's psychotic. Like, it's insane. And these girls train hard for this race every day, every single day.
So what goes into, you know, a solid 200 fly? Obviously, your shoulders are doing a lot of work.
Yes.
Your back's doing a lot of work. You're kicking as well.
Yes. It's honestly about just being as efficient as you possibly can. Because, like you said, like, if you overwork a certain period in the race, you're going to be hurting at the end. So allowing yourself to take out the easy speed off the start, understand the efficiency, using your kicks to your advantage. Everything is so methodical in this race because of how easy it is to fatigue.
So you just say it's a rhythm thing?
It's a rhythm thing. The guys and girls who train for the 200 fly, it's repetition, repetition. Don't stop, even keel, hold the pace. Don't differentiate in your times, nothing, just you gotta do the same thing. Same kick count, same stroke count, every time.
Kylie Alon's in lane 7 right now.
Yeah.
Creating a little distance, but NC State's strong in lane 3 and lane 5.
Yes, absolutely. Good race in lane 3 and 5 and 6. Kylie is another, like I said, the Wolfpack women have a very talented freshman class. Coming in, making some waves, making some noise, and Kylie, watching her train when I get the chance to, it's so impressive. She is so talented. She loves to train hard. She loves the race day in and day out. And getting thrown into a race like the 200 fly, where, you know, normally she doesn't train for.
That's a 1-2 finish for the pack behind Kyla Ailings and Michaela Sargent.
Brianna Cameron of North Carolina finishing 3rd to prevent the sweep, but it's Alon's and then Michaela Sargent. So 1-2.
Kylie Alon's just barely missed the pool record too. So just seeing how diverse she is, how talented she is.
She was under 158.
NCAA provisional standard in this event.
Braden and the coaching staff have got to be so excited about the future of the Wolfpack women with this freshman class and how positive and how strong they've started out.
In lane 5 for the pack, senior Mason Revis. In lane 6 for the Tar Heels, Thomas Bilden.
And to the men's 200 fly,
James Bretcher. In lane 8 for the Tar Heels, Coleman Manchester.
Wolfpack women now 106 to 25 on the team score. So this is a race that, you know, Vasaios is very strong in, but he's not swimming. Not today.
Not today. Come back next week. Probably is going to be swimming the 200 fly.
NC State competing against Virginia here at home in the Causey Aquatic Center next Saturday. Dual meet that will also be broadcast.
James Bretcher in lane 7 puts in the work, man. He has put in the work. Every day he's consistent. He does his very best. Like, count his kicks, count his strokes. He's very consistent. He knows what he's doing. Same with all the rest of the guys. I'm particularly excited to watch Curtis in lane 1. I'm not expecting him to maybe come out with a win here, but I want to see how strong and confident he's going to be because he just swam the 500 or the 1,000.
Yeah.
In lane 1. And so now he's getting thrown into another, probably one of the most difficult races of the meet. And this is just a test. The coaches are throwing him in there to see how he responds. And, you know, if he's going to be able to come in, race these guys after going 1,000, it's just really reassuring.
How do you balance that when you are, you know, racing multiple events in a single day?
It's hard. It's brutal. But both these teams train. That's why
and I know you have to.
Yeah, you have to. That's why they swim doubles. That's why they race multiple times a day. They put in the work. That, you know, when it's, and also because at the big meets like ACCs and NCAA championships, there's a lot of individuals who swim multiple times in a session.
Sure.
And so you have to practice that intensity, that hard mental hurdle of giving your best at one point and then recovering as best you can and doing your best again.
Sweep for NC State. Brescher, Zach Brown finishing second, and then Mason Rivas third.
Next event is event number 17, women's 50-yard freestyle.
So even without the Sios, the Wolfpack are able to sweep.
Swimming in lane 2 for the Tar Heels, Maddie Smith. In lane 3
All right,
for the pack,
50
Kylie
free.
Perry.
Shortest race there
In
is.
lane 4,
Splash and dash.
Awfully exciting. Splash and dash.
In
This is
lane
it.
5 for the pack, Vasiliki
It's over
Blanca.
before you know it.
In lane 6 for the Tar Heels, Grace County.
Now in college,
lane
obviously
7
the
for the
Olympic
pack,
level, you're just
Savannah
going down.
Rowe.
But in college, you
In
will have to
lane
make
8
a
for the Tar
turn.
Heels,
Yes.
Brooke Bauer.
Very,
This is the
very
women's 50
difficult,
freestyle.
actually.
Mr.
I
Referee.
mean, you're traveling at such a high speed, and to stop and transfer that momentum into a turn and continue at that speed is very difficult. Turn work is a very important aspect of training for the sprint group.
Kylie Perry, lane 3, one of the best in the country right now. She's got a top 5 time on the year. Keep your eyes on her in lane 3. Looks like it's Perry to the wall first.
Serena Rowe in lane 7 also looking good. Good underwater. Let's see how she does in the breakout.
And it is Perry by a full length. Serena Rowe finishing
That's a 1-2
second for the
finish.
Wolfpack,
Led by
and Kate
Kylie
Boyer
Perry,
takes
lane
third
3.
for Carolina.
That was a cool record that Kylie had
Next event is event number
originally,
18, men's 50
and then just reset it just now.
NCAA provisional
22-7 for Kylie Perry.
6. Swimming in lane 1 for the pack, Jack Moranitz. Lane 2 for the Tar Heels, Eli Cohen. In lane 3 for the pack, Tyler Rice. In lane 4.
All right, men's 50 free. There will be an exhibition after
In lane
the
5
men's
for the
50
pack,
free.
Senior Justin Ress. In lane
Got
6
Justin
for the Tar
Ress
Heels,
in lane
Alvin
5.
Chang.
Who are you looking at
In
here?
lane
I'm looking at
7 for the
Justin,
pack, Senior
honestly.
Cole Garcia. And in lane 8 for
He's
the
so
Tar Heels,
talented,
Jack
so fast.
Messenger. This is the
But
men's 50
honestly,
freestyle.
all the guys at
Quiet for
NC
the Tar
State
Heels.
are
Mr.
talented
Referee.
as well, so you never know in the 50 free. It's a roll of the dice.
Nils Korstanji not swimming here today. He has the top time in the ACC this season, but Justin Ress has the second best time
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
ACC, so
Yeah.
we do get to see Ress.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin throws out a fast time today just to give Nils a run for his money at some
Why
other
not?
point.
Why not?
Be like, hey, listen here, freshman. Like, you're not the top gun right now, so I'm still here, and Justin's coming in hot.
It is Ress with the win. Garcia of NC State finishing second.
And senior
Alvin
Justin
Chang
Ress
finishing
with
third
Wolfpack
for
leads
North
the way in a
Carolina.
1-2 finish. In the men's 50 freestyle. The next heat is an exhibition heat for the men's 50, lane 4 for the Tar Heels, Andrew Heiss, lane 6 for the Tar Heels, Thomas Sungalia, and in lane 7 for the back, Nathaniel Mullins.
An exhibition here. A couple of North Carolina swimmers. First exhibition we've seen from the Tar Heels. Obviously, you're going to have an exhibition sometimes coming back from injury.
Yes.
Or sometimes just the coaches wanting to see a swimmer in a race but not maybe yet ready for competition.
Yes. Yeah.
No, Tomas Sangalia
We also have
and
it's a
Nathaniel
tie.
Mullins tied.
Tie.
Just from our vantage point, I apologize. I was thinking the guy in lane 4 might have had it.
Yeah.
It was that close.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we have a 15-minute interruption for the
All right.
swimming portion of our competition.
18 events in the books, include the dives. We are going to take a 15-minute break right now. Men of NC State 119 to 31. Hennessy, I just want your overall thoughts of what we've seen in this first segment from both sides.
Both sides, I think this is just business as usual. I'm not particularly surprised by anything, and I'm also not disappointed at all by the performances. Overall, it's been solid, and I'm particularly excited about seeing the freshmen compete right now, and this is their first home meet. So being able to respond to the energy of the crowd, NC State Swim and Dive does a great job of making this a show. And it's fun to be in the competition pool surrounded by the crowd, feeling their energy. And so it's an exciting time for the freshmen. And right now, I think they're responding well to it. So overall, good performances on both sides.
This venue seats about 1,500, and it is packed to the gills for this one. NC State and North Carolina. We're going to take, again, it's a 15-minute break. When we come back, we will have the women's 100 free. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the ACC Network Extra.
Provisional standard 49.51. This is the women's 100.
Andrew Sanders, Hennessy Stewart, welcoming you back here to the Willis Causey Aquatic Center on the campus of NC State. After the little intermission, we are ready to go once again. And we will start with the women's 100 free. Just to update you on the team scores really quickly coming out of the break. NC State men leading 119 to 31 over North Carolina. On the women's side, it's an even bigger lead, 121 to 29. So that's where we stand coming into the women's 100 free.
Kylie Lalonde's looking very good right now into the turn.
It's Kylie Alon's, Kylie Perry. The Kylies are the ones to watch in this event for the Wolfpack.
UNC seems to be coming out strong after the break, contending for second, third, fourth positions.
It's going to be Perry to win this one in a big way.
Big way, 49.00. Great swim for Kylie.
Or pardon me, Alon's.
And it's a 1-2 finish.
Vasiliki coming in second with 50.78. Another great swim for her.
The next heat is an exhibition heat, women's 100-yard freestyle, lane 4.
I think they changed up the, they changed up some of the swimmers here
Emma Cole,
from what we got on the heat sheet.
Yeah, we had.
All right,
Brooke.
so I'm going to trust the scoreboard.
Yeah,
that's safe.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Brooke Rubendahl replaced Kylie Perry, or no?
Basilica.
Yeah.
Baca finishing second.
Yeah, there was a couple mix-ups there.
But a 1-2 finish for the Wolfpack. Emma Cole, Maddie Smith of North Carolina swimming exhibition here. All right, so as a swimmer, you get that little 15-minute break.
Yes.
If you're NC State, you're finding yourself way ahead.
Yes.
Both sides. That doesn't change your mentality at all.
Not
It
one
doesn't
bit.
change your focus at all, right?
Not one bit. It's full throttle all day long.
You're North Carolina. You're finding yourself well behind. I know your 4 years here at NC State, you won ACCs every year, so you probably didn't find yourself in that position very often. But if you were down in a dual meet, does that change your mentality at all?
It's definitely difficult to be in that situation. It's more of a mental challenge at this point. How can you overcome this? How do you stay positive? How do you keep... it's very easy to throw your routines out the window because there's not a lot riding on this anymore. It's all about you. It's all about just your team now. And so being able to continue your race strategies, your race routines, everything you would normally, and execute it properly is a good way to practice for when it does count.
For the back, Ines Constante. Lane 4 for the Tar Heels, Tucker Burhans. Lane 5 for the pack, Hope Garcia. In lane 6 for the Tar Heels, Brent Mercado. And in lane
The men's
7,
100 free.
This is the men's 100 freestyle.
Jacob Molechek is the best in the ACC. He swam that time during a relay. Niels Korstanji in lane 3, Molechek in lane 7.
Great start from Nils in lane 3. Nils is looking really good at the turn. Coming in at 21.2. Very, very fast. Jacob's on his heels. Jacob is a back halfer in this race, actually. He's got probably the best back 50 in the country. So we'll see him try to catch Nils. I don't know if he sees him. He probably does. This is a good race. This is very fast.
It's going to be Korstanji.
Oh,
No,
Jacob.
out-touched by Molechek.
44.0 for Jacob and 44.2 for Nils. Great swims for both of them. And then Mark completing the sweep with a 45.6.
The men's 100 freestyle next heat is
Great race there.
Mark McLaughlin in third. All right, well, you said he was a back half guy.
Yeah.
It's a good scouting report there, Hennessy.
Absolutely. He's so impressive in the back half of that 50, the back 50.
Another sweep for the Wolfpack men in the 100 free. So a little mixture. You got Molechek, who's one of the older guys, and Korstanji, one of the younger guys.
Yeah. It's just awesome to see the passing of the torch happen every year. My freshman year, it was David Williams, was a senior, stud sprinter, and helped mentor Ryan Held. And we all know.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good, I'd say. So having Jacob and Justin here to help Nils out and all the other freshmen really develop a good work ethic is crucial for the development and the future of the program.
You mentioned Ryan Held, and since I have you here, what was that like watching him
Oh,
in
it
the
was incredible.
Olympics on TV?
It was so much fun. I was in Colorado when it
Did you
happened.
get a little emotional?
Of course.
I mean, I got a little emotional
I got
just
emotional.
as an American.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much pride there. And I was in Colorado in a small mountain town watching it at some restaurant. And it's on the background, obviously. No one's really paying attention to it, but like me, my brother, and a buddy of mine were watching, and we are in it. And we see Ryan dive in, swim, and we are going in a small place in the middle of the mountains, and everyone's looking at us like, what's going on? Yeah, this is cool, but like, why are you so excited? It's like, you don't know. Like, I lived with that guy. He was my roommate my freshman year. He's one of my best. That's my guy. That's my dude. That's one of my best friends. And so it's been so much fun to see him succeed in and out of the pool. It was a fun 4 years having him, Anton, some diver named Charles Mitchell, who live with him now. They're all my brothers. Everyone's so close. We all love each other.
He won 4 straight ACC championships, looking for a 5th straight this year.
The team's looking really good. Both are going to be contending for ACC titles this year.
All right, women's 200 back. Emma Muzzy is in lane 7. You described her as a stud earlier.
Yes.
And just a freshman. You've been really impressed with this freshman class on the women's side.
Yes,
of the Wolfpack.
particularly for the women. Last year was a hard year for the women in terms of just constant adversity. Constant. And they were coming off a win 2 years ago at ACCs.
Right.
They lost a lot of heavy hitters. That senior class was crucial for the development of that program. And then coming off last year, not necessarily doing what they wanted, but still being successful in a lot of areas. But having freshmen come in like Emma, Kylie, Sophie, It's really reassuring for the future of this Wolfpack women team.
As you say, it was a struggle of a year. They still finished top 20 nationally
Yeah,
for the
I
fifth
know.
straight
Yeah,
year.
yes, absolutely.
So the bar has just been raised on,
Exactly.
on what the expectation
Exactly.
is, and so a down year is still a top 20 year.
Exactly. Exactly. In terms of history, the Wolfpack women are normally very good at this race, and they still are, the 200 back. I mean, as you can see, Emma is controlling this event from start to finish. And then you have Elise Hahn in lane 5, another great backstroker, has done tremendous things for this program as a senior. Mackenzie Glover, another very talented, this is her race. 200 back is her race, so she has earned a lot of points and had a lot of success for the Wolfpack here.
So it's Muzzy who wins it by a couple of seconds. Sophie Linder of North Carolina finishing second, and Mackenzie Glover, it's her race. She finishes third.
Yeah, Emma comes in with a 155.8.
22 men's.
Sophie Linder,
Backstroke.
157.3. And Mackenzie Glover, 159.1.
1:45.04. Swimming lane 1 for the pack, John Healy. In lane 2 for the Tar Heels, James Courtney. In lane 3 for the pack, Jacob Johnson. In lane 4 for the Tar Heels, Jacob Rauch. In lane 5 for the pack, Coleman Stewart. In lane 6
All right,
for the Tar Heels,
men's
Chris
200
James.
back.
In lane 7 for the pack, senior Parker Campbell. And lane 8
Coleman
for the Tar
Stewart
Heels,
is the
Patrick
one to watch.
Cusick.
Yes, he is.
This is the men's 200 backstroke. Mr. Referee.
But I'm sitting next to the NC State program record holder in this event.
Well, I've had a lot of great races in this particular event. I love it, but it's also very hard. It's a very hard race. It destroys the legs. Like the 200 fly, it's a little different in the training, but it's also just as difficult.
I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, and it's probably not an easy answer, but the cliche, hey, for those kids watching at home, you're an outstanding backstroker. What's maybe 1 or 2 pointers you could give and say, hey, this is what needs to improve to be a great backstroker?
You gotta work the underwaters, and I've been successful because I also am. I kick pretty hard throughout the race, and I have a high tempo. Everyone's a little different. As you see Coleman coming into the 100 right now, he's got great underwaters, as I said, one of the best. He's going to use those, but he's also more finesse, much more relaxed looking stroke right now. Whereas if I were swimming, I would have been much more upbeat.
It just, you can see that it
Yes,
looks more
it's
max
just
effort.
it's just different, and that's just how I would swim it. Coleman's looking good. Yeah, Jacob Johnson in lane 3 is also looking good in second place. There's a lot of good history in backstroke for the both women and men's side of NC State.
Coleman Stewart, you see he's pretty much halfway the length of the pool underwater.
Yeah.
And he has got a massive lead here.
He's probably taking 7 to 8 kicks. Maybe not as much off that wall, but solid swim for Coleman, coming in at 145.4. Jacob Johnson coming in 148.6 second. And Chris Thames from UNC, 150.1. Good races. At the end of the day, this is all about race execution. There's so much strategy that goes into a race, just as much as the 1,000 as it is for the 200. So right now, both these teams are trying, and these swimmers are just trying to execute the race the way they are supposed to, the way they've been training to do it.
So Stewart and Johnson go 1-2. The Wolfpack extend their lead. And that was Coleman Stewart, dominating that race at a time that I know you're not that focused on times right now, but nowhere near his peak.
Nowhere near. Nowhere near. None of these swimmers are near their peak right now. No one. So yeah, you know what your in-season best times are, but a lot of it is just execution and racing. Who can get to the wall first?
Sure.
That's all that matters.
to the women's 200 breaststroke. And Sophie Hansen has the top time in the ACC so far. Another one of those freshmen. So I guess this will allow me to, you said, when you come over from another country, Sophie Hansen coming from Sweden, what was the adjustment like from you coming from, America, from Colorado? How different is that adjustment to college and then extrapolate that to the international student?
For me to talk about an adjustment, there's always an adjustment period for anyone going from high school to college.
Yeah, even if you're not a student athlete.
Even if you're not a student athlete. And things are just so different. You're in different environments, you're training with different people, different intensity, different coaches. Throw in different classes, different campus. You don't know how to communicate to professors yet. There's so many things that are new.
You got a lot to learn.
You got a lot to learn coming in as a freshman. And so you throw in a language barrier. You throw in different distances, metrics. It's so difficult for freshmen to come in there from other countries who are accustomed to speaking a different language. And they may have some background in English, but there's usually a huge learning curve for those international students that come here and start studying and competing. But we often joke that by the end of their collegiate career, they often speak better English than some of the Americans.
So what does that say about Sophie Hansen's ability that she's been able to, manage that adjustment and swim at this high of a level, this early? She
has trusted the process. She's trusted the coaches. I think she's relied on a lot of the girls on the team. And I'm sure they've been such a good support. She's living with a teammate, an American teammate, that allows to help with her transition. It's all methodical. It's all planned out. You gotta make sure that these individuals get what they need right away to help facilitate and start the process of transitioning.
The next event number 24, men's
Rosina McClanahan wins it for NC State. Lily Higgs of North Carolina finishing second. Shoemate of NC State gets third. So 1-3 finish for the Wolfpack.
3 for the pack, senior Daniel Graber.
Women's team up to 170 already.
Austin Sellers. In lane 5 for the pack, Rafael Custo.
Top 3 times for the women's 200 breast are 2:15.9, 2:17.1, and a 2:18.5.
So we thought we were going to see Sophie Hansen there, but unfortunately got switched up a little late.
And that sometimes happens throughout the meet.
Speaking of transition, is Rafael Custo is in this one. You say he just came in January.
Yep. He is.
Were you an early enrollee?
I came in the summer before my freshman year.
Okay.
And so, yes, I came in early just to start the process, start training, start taking classes, begin to understand the relationship between the athlete and the coach. Like, how are the coaches? How are the team? Start making friends. Just that way, coming into the fall, I feel much more comfortable. I feel like I understand everything. I know what I'm doing. It's just a good head start. And honestly, if I were to give advice to any upcoming collegiate athlete, I would recommend going in the summer early if they offer it, because it's a great opportunity for you to, if you're ready. I know I was ready to get to college.
I was too.
I was ready. So I'm glad I got to spend my summer here in Raleigh than sitting around in Denver wanting to be in Raleigh. So having that opportunity was awesome, and I highly recommend it for anyone who wants to do that. Now this is very interesting. UNC is at a lead right now at the 150.
Yeah, Valdez Abalixta
He's swimming
Strong
really,
event
really well.
for him. He's in the lead, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm looking over the sheets here. I'm trying to think back in my memory. I don't think North Carolina has had an individual finish
They
first
have not.
in a
They
single
have not.
event so far.
They have not, and this could be their first. It's looking like it's going to be.
And Abelik still with a big lead. Cousteau, the only Wolfpacker near him, and he will touch first. And so the North Carolina team with something to cheer about here, and they are very pumped up to see that.
It's a big swim, good momentum going to UNC. The winning time is a 1:58.5. That's a solid time right now in this season.
Cousteau swims essentially two flat.
Yes.
100th over that for second. Daniel Graber and a 202.2 for third.
0.20, swimming in lane 1 for the pack, Summer Finke.
Men's team with a 175.51 lead through
3 for the pack, Tamila Halou.
the 200 breast.
For the Tar Heels, Brianna Cameron. In lane 5 for the pack, Kate Moore. In lane 6 for the Tar Heels, Robin Dreyer. In lane 7 for the pack, senior.
And now we move to our final real long distance race here today. It's the 500 free. So we already saw the 1,000. Cut that in half here.
Yep.
No 1650.
No, not
no
today.
point in doing that today.
Not today. Not today. Usually the swimmers will only swim the 1650 in one day.
Diving results are in there. This has the last set of
We've got some diving results we were just handed. In the men's 3-meter dive, Gray Holt of NC State winning. 342.
It's good. That's very, very promising.
And beating out James Brady, who finished with a 302 for second place. It was a sweep for the men of NC State. Stuart Sponbauer finishing third.
Good showing for the dive team here, both men and women. It's exciting. I mean, like you have Holt Gray coming on top over James Brady, who is is the leader right now. He's the upperclassman. He's kind of showing. He's shown Holt a lot this past year. Stewart, who is a senior, had the opportunity to do a co-op this past semester, so he hasn't been necessarily all that around. But he's come back and he's transitioning very well, very fast. I believe, by talking to Yaya and all the other divers, that he's going to be ready for championship season.
Sean Burston, Andrew Alciani of North Carolina finishing 4th and 5th respectively. And then the women's 1-meter, NC State with a clean sweep, 10 competing. The top 5 all NC State Wolfpackers as Taylor Bennett won it with a final score of 270.9. Madeline Klein second, Rachel Burston third. Schlossmacher Smith, fourth.
Very, very good showing by the dive team. Kate Moore leading the way in the 500 at the 200 mark. She had a great 200 free earlier in the meet. Yes, this is longer, but it's another intense race where you're putting a lot of effort in. It's not as much finesse as maybe the 1,000, but it's a hard balance to have in this race.
Remember, Tamila Holub won the 1,000 earlier today. She's in second right now behind Kate Moore. So when we took that 15-minute break, you're still training.
Yes.
You're getting ready for 2020.
Yes, that is the
You
plan.
had a quick snack in that 15-minute break, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are always interested in the diets of swimmers because obviously you're expending so much energy. We've talked about the routine, the workouts. What's your eating schedule like, and how are you able to eat?
One thing that I've learned is that everyone's different in the sport of swimming. Like, everyone needs certain things. Particularly me, what I've learned is, like, I need a high protein diet. There are some people that don't need as much protein. But I think at the end of the day, swimmers are going to be consuming more calories than the average person.
Well, you should.
You should be.
Yeah.
And I mean, you hear stories of Michael Phelps eating 10,000 calories. He's a freak. We're not eating that much.
You're not putting that away?
I am not putting that away.
Okay.
But like, don't get me wrong, I'm still eating a lot. I'm eating frequently throughout the day. I'm snacking throughout the day. You never want to feel hungry because then you're not eating enough.
Okay.
And everyone has different plans, different diets. We're lucky enough to have. We've had a great support by the nutrition department here at NC State. They're very supportive. They're very knowledgeable and have helped develop multiple different schedules of eating, what to eat for everyone individually. And so, the team's been very fortunate enough to have that kind of support. And they're always on the backstage.
Yeah.
They're never in the glory. They're never in the spotlight. They're totally just never really recognized for how much help that they actually produce. And that we, as athletes, if we're not eating right, we're not performing right. And so
when you're lifting and then you're doubling, obviously you need the calories, you need the recovery, and nutrition is a huge part of that. Maybe
huge.
Finding that you need more protein, maybe I need a few more carbs, whatever the case may be.
Yes, it is a trial and error process, learning about your body, but it's very, very, very important. It's probably the second most important thing about our lifestyle, besides the training, is the nutrition.
NC State with a sweep in the women's 500 free. Kate Moore, 447.6. Tamila Holub, who won the 1,000, finishes 54.69. And Anna Johnson, third, 454.93.
Zach Brown, in lane 6 for the Tar Heels.
So again, the Tar Heels women's team came in here ranked 24th in the country, but it's been the NC State women that have really been dominant.
Yes.
As they pile together another sweep. Again, it goes Moore, Holub, and Johns. And now to the men's 500 free. So NC State women, they swept the 1,000. They also sweep the 500 free. The Wolfpack men earlier earned the sweep in the 1,000. It was Jack McIntyre who won it. Getting back to diet.
Yes.
How clean do you have to eat? Obviously, you're an athlete. You talked about the nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're expending so many calories, do you get a meal every once in a while that some would call as, I know you don't have actual cheat meals, but would be considered maybe to some a cheat meal? You get to have that cheeseburger sometimes?
Absolutely. Calories are calories at some point. Like, there are times where if I don't have what I need, I'm going to McDonald's.
Okay.
Just because, sometimes I just need that.
Say, I need to get 1,500 calories in right now.
I need to get food in at this point. And so, obviously, I think the majority of the time, everyone is eating correctly. Yeah. They're getting good portions, veggies, fruit.
But you're not having to go brown rice, chicken breast, and broccoli
every meal.
8 times a day.
No.
Okay.
The dining halls here at NC State provide enough diversity in the food that you're able to not feel like you're eating the same thing every day, and that's what's really important. Because then that makes it hard. That makes the diet and the nutrition aspect very hard if you don't have a diverse or random selection or a choice, for that matter, on what you're going to eat. I think as a swimmer, some people are more intense than others. Some people are I'm eating veggies and a little bit of carbs through brown rice and then chicken breasts. But then there are other people who are I can have that Kit Kat bar.
Okay.
If I want something sweet, I'll have some ice cream at night, and that's okay. I think it's more important that you're doing what's right, but also that you're comfortable and you're happy. Sometimes if you're going to force yourself to just eat a certain way, you're not going to enjoy yourself. It's going to be hard. So yes, you want to eat correctly, but it's okay to have that ice cream every once in a while.
Appreciate you clarifying that. I'll stop asking you about food, but
No,
you know,
it's
and I got a couple pounds on you, so you can see where my focus is.
Hey, it's all right.
I'm glad that you can get that cheeseburger every once in a while. 500 free. Right now, Jack McIntyre is in the lead.
Yes.
Danny Erlenmeyer of NC State in second, Gil Kiesler in third, and Zach Brown in fourth. And this is what we saw from the men's distance in the 1,000 is the Wolfpack swimmers just pulling away.
Yes, and they're going to continue to pull away, I think.
And it's McIntyre in lane 1 getting it done.
Yes, absolutely. Danny in lane 3, Danny Erlenmeyer knows where Jack is. He's close enough to where he's watching him. He knows he's there, so we'll see if Danny's going to try to reel him in, try to get the win here. But as we saw, Jack did win the 1,000, so he's definitely got a lot going for him at the end of this race.
I could totally see how in a distance race like this, you're going to know where your competition is, though. But a couple of times you've alluded to, you know, oh, I think he sees him or I think she sees him, and they might be 3-4 lanes apart in a 100, 200 race. How are you able to manage all of that? You're managing your tempo, your breathing, and you're also able to take a peek even 3-4 lanes away.
Yes, it's just experience and just routine. A lot of the times, particularly in the sprint events, it's just second nature for them to execute a certain race. And like, I know there are some people stick to their lane. They don't look, they don't worry about anyone else, they just worry about themselves in the lane. Whereas I like to know where everyone is. I like to race the guy next to me. So, like, I will look for, as a backstroker, I will look for other people's arms and hands in the outside of my vision to see where they're at. And that just helps me because I'm just a competitor. And I like to know where everyone is. So it just makes things a lot more fun. Everyone's different, though.
McIntyre first, 4:29.65. Erlenmeyer second, 4:31.88. Gil Kiesler third, 33.88. And Zach Brown fourth.
Good sweep for the NC State Wolfpack.
Next event is event number 27, women's 100-yard butterfly.
So NC State, and we're going to interview after the last event. I want to go ahead and tease this now. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to have an interview with Braden Holloway, the head coach of NC State. That's something we've got to ask him about, right, is what he thought his distance swimmers did today, because they swept both events on both sides.
Yes, absolutely.
Tar Heels, Sophie Linder. In lane 7 for the back, Kylie Ahlens. And in lane 8 for the Tar Heels, Brooke Corona. This is the women's 100 butterfly. Mr. Referee.
Women's 100 butterfly. Kylie Ahlens is in lane 7. She's had a big day today so far.
Big day. Good underwaters, good breakouts. Good race for third right now between lane 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
It's Ahlens who beats Sophie Linder for about a half length. Ahlens finishing 5:3.6, Linder 55.1. And it's Emma Cole of North Carolina who gets third. So the Tar Heels get a second and third there.
Number 28, men's 100-yard butterfly. The NCAA provisional standard in this event.
But it is Ahlens who wins again.
Swimming in lane 1 for the
You're already having a big day in the pool. You're swimming your third, maybe your fourth event, even if it's not your best event. You're riding that. That's a terrible, no pun intended, but are you riding that wave of momentum?
Absolutely.
In lane
It's
5
so-
for the
I
pack,
apologize for that one. Just, I didn't.
It's
Not
totally
intentional.
fine. No, it's totally fine. Like it's so crucial to start the meet out correctly, get the momentum rolling, like doing the right things early on. Like she's doing a great job recovering in between events. She's doing the job that like allows her to compete again and again from the start, and then gonna finish the meet out strong as well.
Got the men's 100 fly here, and then we will have our break before the 200 IM and the 200 freestyle relay. Seeing some, I'm talking about that recovery. I know a lot has been made about the cupping. Seeing a lot of athletes here with cupping. Were you ever get into that?
Actually, I never did cupping.
What was your
I
favorite
was
way to
more
recover?
of a ice bath and Normatec kind of guy. Normatec's compression, high, like intense compression, and then ice bath is what it is. It's cold water.
Justin Ress is in lane 7. Noah Hensley in lane 3. This race might be between them.
It's looking good. Noah's doing really well in the waters. Let's see if he finishes.
Got Alvin Jang of North Carolina also in there.
UNC coming up with another win. That's huge.
And it is Jang who wins at 4.7.8. Hensley second, 4.81, and Ress third at 4.84.
Very good race for UNC. That's very exciting for them.
All right, Wolfpack fans, we got a 10-minute break before
We've seen
swimming
Smith,
resumes
we've
with
seen
the I and
Jang
the
stand
relay.
out, and also Abalixta, who got the win earlier to set
We're
the
gonna
tone.
finish the lyrics.
All
I've
right,
got
one
Caleb
final
Tubb
break
with us
again
today.
coming up next. We've got a couple
gonna
of
finish
fun
the lyrics,
races,
the
yeah, the
songs we play.
200
It's
IM
200
and
IM.
the 200 free relay.
Yes, very fun. Hard, but we're going to end the meet with a bang, hopefully.
No doubt about it. 10-minute break. Hennessy and I will be back. We'll see you then.
In lane 4 for the Tar Heels, Lily Higgs. In lane 5 for the pack, Emma Muzzy.
Welcome you back from break once again with Hennessy Stewart. My name is Andrew Sanders. Hope you have enjoyed this one so far. It's been a lot of fun. NC State and North Carolina in this dual meet. Second ACC dual meet of the season for the Wolfpack, having already defeated Duke on both the men's and women's side. First one for North Carolina. The Wolfpack well on their way to going 2-0 in conference, both the men and the women, with large leads. Hennessy, we've got just 2 events left. This one right here is a fun one, women's 200 IM.
Very fun. It's hard. But the great thing about this race is the moment you get tired in one stroke, you change strokes. And so it allows a good transition. It's a good opportunity to diversify your talents. It's a fun one to train. It's hard, but it's a fun one to train.
And you have got a lot of experience in this event. You described that like you said that's the great thing. That sounds kind of torturous.
It is.
I'm exhausted in one stroke, but hey, now I get to go to another one.
Absolutely.
Get exhausted in that too.
Compared to other 200 events, the 200 IM is very much a sprint because of that aspect of changing the stroke the moment you start getting tired. Because each stroke uses different muscles. And so being able to take out in the fly, knowing that you're going to have the backstroke, so I'm going to put this much more effort into the fly because I know the transition is going to help me.
Yeah. Julia Poole is in lane 7. She's one of the best in the conference at this event. Her best time so far this year, 1:57.09.
Michaela Sargent in lane 1 for NC State. It's looking very, very good. She had a lead from the start in lane 1 too, and that's very, very difficult.
Yep. Poole in first and Sargent in second, just a couple tenths behind her.
Emma Muzzy is in third. Great race coming up. We're approaching the wall. Let's see who has the best turn and breakout. Very, very good race here. Julia seems to, based off my vantage point, have the lead. Emma Muzzy coming in strong.
Looks like it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and it is for the Wolfpack. Poole, Muzzy in second, and she outtouches Sargent by about a tenth, but it's Poole 200.5, or pardon me, 2 minutes and 0.5.
The next team will be an exhibition team in the women's 200-yard individual medley, lane 2.
Emma Muzzy with 2:01.2. Michaela Sargent 2:01.3. And Olivia Fisher in fourth with a 2:03.3. So great swim by the Wolfpack women.
And now we've got quite a crowded exhibition
Very
field
crowded.
here.
Very, very crowded.
And a chance for the coaches to see all 4 strokes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so why not?
Sometimes these meets, particularly at this point in the meet where, like we've said, the Wolfpack have had a great day. They have a huge lead. They might throw some individuals in an extra race if they have it. If they have the opportunity, they're going to throw them in, use it as training, try to develop some good mental toughness. And I think that's what we are seeing here in this 200 IM.
Olga Lapti of North Carolina, Sophie Hansen of NC State, Jessica Horomansky of NC State, Maddie Baker of North Carolina, Kate Moore of the Wolfpack is in first place. After this, we'll have the men's 200 IM, and we'll finish with the 200 freestyle relay. Updated women's team score 197.82 for the Wolfpack.
Kate Moore looking really good in this 200 IM. Now, I expect Sophie to make a move here in the breaststroke. Now, I don't know, maybe Kate had too much of a lead going in, but Sophie's a great breaststroker, so I expect to see a lot of ground made up here. Kate Moore was able to hold her off, come into the last turn.
And Moore finishes in 2 minutes flat. Hansen just a second and a half behind her. And Horomansky at 3:97 for third in the exhibition.
Next event is event number 30, men's 200-yard individual medley. The NCAA provisional standard.
Andreas Visayos in lane 7.
So we get 1 for the Packs.
Who else do you have your eye on other than Visayos?
Lane 3 for the Pack.
I'm a little biased. My younger brother's in this heat in lane 5.
I set you up for that. I thought maybe.
You did. But I had to throw that out there. Really excited to see what he does.
Lane 7,
And
senior Andreas Visayos.
But a very talented field.
Tar Heels, Austin Sellers. This is the men's 200-yard individual medley. Mr. Referee.
This is always a fun race to watch Andreas in, because he's just so good at every stroke.
And pretty good in the 5th stroke too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He was the furthest down the lane before he broke the
He's
water.
got great underwaters. Eric's looking good in lane 3, so is Mason Revis in lane 1. Great underwaters for Andreas coming off the turn into the backstroke. Looking very good. I'll be honest, I don't think there's anyone who's better at the backstroke portion of the 200 IM than Andreas. Split a 25-1 in the backstroke. That is very, very elite at this point in the season.
Vasallo's putting on a show.
Good race between the other Wolfpackers. We have Quinlan Stewart in lane 5, who's a breaststroker, doing very, very well. Eric also having a great race.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle for second between Stewart and Knowles right now. Stewart in second.
Andreas coming in, 146.0. Great swim, good splitting, well executed.
Knowles in second. Quinlan Stewart finishing third. What do you think about the swim from Little Bro?
One, two,
I think it's
three
all right.
for the
I
Wolfpack.
think it's okay. He's a tough trainer. He works very, very hard, almost to a point where it hurts him. And so,
The next event is event
but
number 31,
overall,
women's
great swims by,
200-yard
I
freestyle
think, both
relay.
UNC
The
and
NCAA provisional
NC State
standard
there.
in this event is 129.36.
Wolfpack sweep it. Vasallos, Knowles, Stewart.
Wolfpack are in the odd lanes. Tar Heels are in the even lanes. While these swimmers as their legs come through. Mr. Referee.
All right, we're finishing up with a relay. Very fast one, 200 freestyle relay.
Hard to believe. Already to our final event.
I know, it went by fast today, which is good. I'm not sure about the athletes, but for the spectators it is.
The A group for NC State is in lane 7.
Unfortunately, we don't know the names of the individuals on these relays, and that's for a reason. The coaching staff likes to make that decision later on in the meet on who's going to be on what relay, depending on who's hot, who's not, who needs to swim a little bit more. It's all about strategy at this point.
It is the A group for the Wolfpack in the lead. So this is, like you said earlier, splash and dash,
Yes.
but with some teamwork.
Absolutely, and it's very fun. Very, very fun to be on these last relays.
When you're on the blocks, you're waiting for your teammate to touch. What's going through your mind, make sure that transfer is clean.
Don't DQ, don't DQ, don't
Just-
DQ, don't DQ.
There's only one rule,
There's
huh?
a fine line. You gotta be fast, but you also cannot DQ the relay. Like, that's one of the worst things. Like, that's one of the worst feelings ever, is to DQ a relay for your team.
So you're fine with, losing out on a 10th, as long as it, like, better safe than sorry.
Depends if we
You're like,
lost.
you're like, Andrew, I'm not losing a 10th. No
Yeah,
way."
it depends if we lost by a
Yeah.
10th, and I would have rather pushed it
Yeah,
to get that win.
yeah.
All right, we're having a good race here. Looks like NC State's gonna come away with the win.
First and third for the Wolfpack.
Good anchor for UNC there. Fun relay. I see smiles on all the faces. Everyone's happy.
And our final event of the session, event number 32, men's 200-yard freestyle relay. The NCAA provisional standard in this event, 118.11. Once again, the Wolfpack are in the odd
NC State A
lanes. The Tar
relay,
Heels are in the even lanes.
132.1. UNCA, 132.4. NC State B, 134.1. That's the 1-2-3 finish. Now here come the men.
Same situation. We're not sure who's in the A, B, or C for the Wolfpack.
I can see Coleman is going to lead off the B relay. Watch his underwaters. He's going to really push him here. Two very different styles of racing here coming up. In the A, we have Kobe Garcia looking like he's going to fall or going to lead off. But he doesn't like to stay underwater very long. So he's going to do a lot of swimming on top of the water.
Looks like the A is all red hats, all red caps.
All seniors. That's,
Yeah.
Oh, that's special. That's so special to have an all-senior relay.
Not a coincidence, I'm sure.
No.
Not here on senior day.
No, of course not. Kobe's looking really good. Really good. We have Coleman's Underwaters coming up right now. I don't know.
He's in there for so long.
I don't know. Kobe's looking really good. Coleman also. Good races here. Good swims. 20.2 for both of them. Great job. This is going to be a good race between the two relays. Now, if I were UNC, I'd be pretty excited right now because you're getting both waves from NC State to draft off of. So now if they don't get too far behind, they could use that to their advantage. All right, we have Giovanni in the B and Justin coming up to anchor. Good exchanges. Jacob with a 19.3. Very good split right now.
Last turn, here comes Justin Ress. Trying to do it for the seniors.
Giovanni coming in. Wow, both of them splitting 19.5s.
It's the seniors here on senior day, 119.1.
Here are the men's 200-yard freestyle relay.
And as NC State relay goes 1-2 for the men.
NC State B goes 119.5. UNCA getting third with a 121.4. I would say it was a good end to the meet overall. Good splits and everything.
Competition for today. Final scores.
Yeah, great to
On
see.
the women's ledger. University of North
And a
Carolina
fun way to
Tar
finish it out. We start with the
97.
relay, we finish with the relay. Love it.
It's always a good start and always a good finish.
We are going to take a quick break, get the final scores for you. Don't go anywhere. We are also going to talk with the head coach of the Wolfpack, Braden Holloway. That's coming up in just a moment here on the ACC Network Extra.
This is it? Perfect. No technician or any of that stuff? Oh, my supposed to go now.
Welcome back to the Causey Aquatic Center, again with Hennessy Stewart. I'm Andrew Sanders. We're now joined by the head coach of the Wolfpack, Braden Holloway. Coach, first off, congratulations. Got a dominant win on both sides. Really seemed to set the tempo early with some sweeps. Did you feel that your team really took the tempo that way?
Yeah, I think, anytime you get into a dual meet atmosphere, if you get up early, it just kind of creates some momentum and some extra excitement for your team. We've always had some pretty strong relays for men and women, so that was the game plan, to come in and put some good relays together and load up the first couple events and try and get a head start and create some good momentum.
I noticed, looking at the heat sheet, that particularly for this event, you had some individual swimming different off events. Now, why did you do that coming into this meet, being the first meet in a very long time? Last time you guys competed was in November, so why did you have certain individuals swimming different events here today?
Well, we're still kind of, we have a few kids that are still kind of searching for that third event that may be an option for them. So a lot of their other events today is a good event for them. They just don't get to do it as much compared to their top two events. If some of them are really strong in one event and a segment of the meet, and they don't really get the hit. Like Andreas Vizayos was third at NCAAs in the 100 back. He doesn't get to do it as much in the beginning of meet because he's usually doing the 200 fly. Mm-hmm. So it was a chance to get them in events where we need to get a look. I did have a few seniors that have been begging to do something. And this was kind of a senior weekend for us, so it's nice to kind of get some different looks for them.
You were able to sweep the distance events on both sides. How did you feel about their performance today, both the 500 and the 1,000?
I thought the distance events were good. It's about what we expect they would go. We had a few people step up and do some great swims. A young lady, Maddie Morello, out of lane 1, stepping up pretty big for our program. So we have some good depth in the distance. Obviously it's been a strong part of our program the last couple of years, and we just want to keep it going and showcase it as best we can. And they did a great job today, especially with coming back after the 1,000, and that's a tough double to do. They handled it very well.
That last event, 200 free relay, it's senior day here. You had your A-team all red caps. How special was that? Was that by design, I imagine? And how special was it to see them win that?
Well, we've been doing something all year where we've had the younger classmen go against the upperclassmen all year. So
okay.
It's actually something we've done all year this year. Because we do have some very good seniors in the sprints, and a lot of those guys are going to be gone next year. So the freshmen and sophomores and juniors need to understand what it takes for them to fill those shoes. But obviously today it just so happens it fits right in, and they train together every day. They've been here for 3.5 years together, putting in the work. So it's just kind of nice to see them do this together one last time.
Now next week, you guys have UVA, another big rivalry, a lot of history, recent and past. How is this meet compared to next week, and how did this meet prepare you for the meet coming up?
I think it's definitely prepared us because it's been so long since we've raced. We do have a few kids that are still learning how to manage the dual meet lineup and the timing of when to get ready for races. I think exploring a few events today allowed us to learn some good things and some bad things for next week, heading into that dual meet. Obviously the emotions will be high for both teams. Mm-hmm. We have a coach there. They had a previous coach here. So I think it's great for the sport. I think the intensity will be a lot more, just like it was last year at their pool. Mm-hmm. But I think this got us back in game mode, racing mode, and because it's been a while, so obviously a lot of them are going to learn a lot from this meet, and we're still fine-tuning. We want to get better each week we perform, and since it's been a while, we need to see where we were, and hopefully next week we're a little bit better as we head into the championship segment.
4th straight year you swept North Carolina. What does that mean to dominate your rival in state like that?
Well, I think probably more for our fans and the school. We had a lot of students here.
Mm-hmm. Great crowd.
NC State against Carolinas in every sport it's just a big, fun stage that sets, and it goes back and forth in so many different sports. So I think being at home again is great for our fans to come here and cheer for us. It's great for their fans because we're close by. So I think it's just great for the sport to have a healthy competition, and we want to keep the rivalry going and keep the good meets going.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Head coach of the Wolfpack, Braden Holloway, taking the time to stand here. I would say sit down, but stand here with us.
Yeah.
Give us a great interview. And boy, his team, just on both sides, men's and women's, they were so prepared today. Hennessy, before we say goodbye, I just want your final thoughts from this dual meet today.
I honestly am very happy and pleased by both performances, honestly. UNC seemed to be in the same boat as NC State, coming off winter training, coming in, not competing for a very long time, trying to figure things out. Obviously, nothing was perfect here today, and that's good, honestly. Both teams, if things were going really well right now, both the coaching staffs would be very concerned.
Yeah.
And so I thought that the meet was what was expected.
Perfect. Even if it's not perfection, that is perfect.
That's
what you're looking
absolutely.
for.
Yep.
Thank you all so much for taking the time and joining us. NC State, the men and the women, they sweep North Carolina. For Hennessy Stewart, our great crew here in Raleigh, I'm Andrew Sanders saying so long. You've been watching College Swimming and Diving on the ACC Network Extra.